Okay, folks, it is Thursday, October 10th. We are now in the double digits for October already. Hard to believe. So this is our last class before the break. So first I'll start off with a quick reminder. It was actually mentioned in class before the recording started. So we have class today, and then just as a reminder, Monday and Tuesday there are no classes. And then Wednesday, when you come back, you will be following a Monday schedule. So whatever you have normally scheduled for on a Monday, that's what you're doing on Wednesday. So, I mean, if your Wednesday schedule is the same, it's really no difference, but they're treating Monday or Wednesday as a Monday schedule. So that's the first thing. So after today, we won't see each other again for a solid week. So whatever I give you for an assignment today, you'll have a full week to get it done. All right. Second thing is we got, excuse me, an in-class activity we're going to do today related to the worksheets. We're going to review that here in a moment. So the Zoom folks, there'll be an Excel file that you can download and use. And that's true for the classroom too, if you want to use your computer instead of the handout that I'll give out. But we'll get into that once we review a little bit about worksheets. I just want to go over that again and, just kind of take a broad look at what we're going to do. And then we'll go ahead and complete that in-class activity. And then we'll learn a new thing, which is going to be the closing entry process. We'll get a good introduction to that, and I'll show you how that works. And that's one of the new things that we'll get into into today. Get all that done and kind of end on that note for today. That will be a great place to be for the class. And then that will only leave us with the last thing in the chapter, the classified balance sheet, a little review of what that is and how it's put together as our final new thing for the chapter 4. All right. And last but not least, I want to take a look at our schedule. So let me kind of get into that view. All right, let me see. So let's just kind of take a quick look at where we're going here. I always like to take a look at this, as you know, at least once a week or maybe every class. So again, today is the 10th. We're working on exam 4, chapter 4. All right. We'll definitely be working on that today. We'll definitely be working on it in our class on Thursday, October 17th. Okay, so we'll have a full class that day. We'll work on and complete chapter 4, which means that during that class, more likely near the end, I will deploy the next exam, which is going to be on chapters 3 and 4. Okay, so let me see. That's my needs to come in. There we go. All right. So that's where we're at. That's what's coming ahead. So the second exam is coming. Now, midterm grades, I believe, are due on the 16th. I think they're due on the 16th, and I'm going to remind myself of that. I'm going to go ahead and open up. Let me see. We'll go to the JCC site and go down to the bottom to the academic calendar. And I do believe that midterms are on, let me see. Here we go. Where is it? I just saw it. Actually, Friday, October 18th. Okay. So when I go back to our schedule, the exam is going to be deployed on the 17th. Obviously, we won't have exam 2 be part of your midterm. Your midterm grade, just kind of forward looking to that for a minute, will be the sum of all your homework grades to date. And then, of course, the score that you got on exam 1. Okay. I don't have a formal midterm exam. So, it's just basically what we have done in the course at that point that constitutes your course grade. And then that becomes your midterm grade. All right. So we will have some more assignments that will hit the grade book before that day. All right. But exam 2 will not be a part of your midterm grade. Okay. It'll be due the following Tuesday on the 22nd when I deploy it on Thursday, the 17th. All right. Now, having said all that, that's just a little quick reminder of where we're going. And the schedule is our little bird's eye view of the course, so to speak. So let me go ahead and talk a little bit about where we were last time. So 3 big components of the chapter. first one we're working on today. We're going to be having extensive work on this today as an in-class activity. And it'll lead up to the homework that I'll give you, that's going to continue what we worked on today and add a new thing. So when I go through, the first thing is worksheets, which is where we're going to be spending a lot of our time today on. The next thing is the closing entries, preparing those and preparing what we call a post-closing trial balance, which is the very last trial balance you make, the third of the three that you had to do. And then that's the second big thing. And then the third big thing in this chapter is talking about what a classified balance sheet is and the things that make that up. Okay, so those are the three big things. So two of which we're going to get into today, have extensive coverage in. All right, so if you remember, just a quick review, maybe we're not going to go through this at the same mode we did last time, but just a quick summary. A couple quick things I want you to remember about a worksheet is that it is, a tool that accountants use in order to do a lot of things. All right. So we have an accounting cycle where we record transactions and then we post to the ledger accounts. All right. The journal entries, and that process continues and continues and continues until we get to the end of our accounting cycle. When we get to the end of the cycle, then we have a bunch of stuff we got to do. We got to journalize our adjusting entries, post them to a ledger account or our ledger accounts, create a trial balance, adjusted trial balance rather. And then, our financial statements are made from the adjusted trial balance as you learned in chapter 3 and worked on. And then we journalize and prepare the closing entries. And then we have a post-closing trial balance. So a bunch of that stuff is done at the very end of the cycle. Okay. So this worksheet is something that is prepared in order to help us do all those things. All right. The worksheet is there to help us do all those things. So it's not a formal accounting document. It's just a little tool that we use to kind of get all the numbers into one place. And then we use that resource in order to do all those things I just mentioned. Okay. So now looking at the process, and we're going to see something very similar to this. Today, we're going to work on it together. You start with your trial balance. All right. And then we plot or post our adjusting entries. So that goes in the next column over. Then we use the beginning balance and the trial balance. Any adjustments that were factored into it becomes our adjusted trial balance. And then we bring over the stuff that would be on the income statement. That'd be your revenues and expenses. And then the balance sheet, your assets, liabilities, and equity accounts. The drawing account is put here, even though it doesn't really belong in the balance sheet, but we also bring that over if there's a drawing account balance. And then we get our totals at the bottom and calculate what net income or net loss is. And then, of course, bring the effect over to the balance sheet. Now, that's a very quick summary, all right? But again, looking at the flow through, we've got our trial balance numbers that go in first. And then we have our adjusting entry stuff that goes in, all right? And then we have our adjusted trial balance stuff that goes in next, all right? And then we bring the numbers over for our income statement and balance sheet. And then the final step, once those are brought over, is we calculate the net income or net loss down here at the bottom, all right? And then we bring the number over or the effect of that over to the balance sheet. So everything that I just showed you, we are about to do. All right. So let's get out of the presentation for a moment. And then I'm going to go into the